Psst. I have a confession to make. I'm addicted to jars, and I don't plan to stop. Hi friends, welcome to Bucket List Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. This video is actually part of a collaboration that is hosted by Tony from Kettle Kitchen and Pam from Bloo Reliance, and it is called Jar It Up July. And the hashtag is also hashtag Jar It Up July. And the collaboration is being primarily sponsored by our favorite lids, ForJars Lids, so great big thank you to them. And on August 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tony's channel, Kettle Kitchen, there's going to be live with lots of giveaways and prizes. So make sure I will link the playlist below of everyone who is joining this collaboration, and make sure you watch all the wonderful videos and make sure to comment so you can have your chance at winning some prizes. I love jars. This is a great collaboration for me to join because I love jars. As I said, I'm addicted to jars and I have no regrets. I love all kinds of jars. I decorate with different jars. As you can see here, there's different ones. And these are vintage 1930s jars. Let me bring one down here. That were actually made here in Canada in the 30s. As you can see, I don't know if that's going to show up, but it says made in Canada on the jar. And they actually have the old lids that they used to use that were reusable. I actually haven't canned with any of these just because I'm not familiar with them, even though I've watched a lot of videos. But a lot of these are very old, so I keep them primarily for decoration and sometimes storage. I also have, for decoration, mini jars in my laundry room. So this is a vintage 1930s jar made in Canada that has like a bluish tint to it. These are one of my favorites. I have two of these. The other one is way up there in the corner. I also have some vintage ones, like I said, that I use for storage. I make my own laundry soap, so this holds my ingredients for laundry soap, borax, washing soda, and that's another vintage jar that was made here in Canada. It's a little bit different. Let me see if I can grab it. It has texture on it and a square bottom. I love the square bottom jars. I'm not sure what it is about them, but I love them. But this holds my stain remover. And I also have other kinds of jars for my extracts that I make. My zest of different, this is lemon zest that I dehydrated. And I love these jars because they have a nice little pop top that can help me keep things fresh. And these are my extracts that I made. This one is my new one I'm working on. It's strawberry, but I also have vanilla in this kind of one. So I think they're pretty to look at on the shelves, and it reminds me of my grandmother's kitchen. I also store all my herbs in different jars, and I love the glass jars. They're more sustainable. You can see all the pretty things in them. And they fit in my spice rack perfectly. I also use jars for many helpful, practical things. Obviously, I do a lot of canning, so I make jelly, I make pickles, I pressure can meat, so I have shelf-stable meat on my pantry shelves, and this is a game changer. If you haven't tried pressure canning meat, you need to. It is so convenient and so amazingly tasty because it tenderizes your cuts too, and it's good to go. I also store dehydrated fruit that I dehydrate myself. These are strawberries that I did this week. I also do, I grow a lot of herbs. Herbs are one of my favorite things to grow, and I grow them for different teas and skincare and things like that. This is lime balm. This is a different kind of jar with a bamboo top. Smells great. So I keep that. And these are strawberry tops that I dehydrated that I keep in these jars. This is another jar that I love, these shapes. I don't know what it is about them, but I love them. And I use this with my chamomile that I grow and dry and make a tea out of it, and it's delicious. You have to try it. Strawberry and chamomile steeped together. It's amazing. I also make my own household cleaners. This one is oranges, I think. Yes, oranges and vinegar. And I let them steep for quite a while. And I just keep adding more vinegar as time goes on when I use it. It smells more like orange now than vinegar, so that's great. So I use them for them, and I love these big jars. I love the wide mouth jars for so many reasons. One, they're easier to fill and they're easier to clean. So I never pass up jars when we are out yard sailing or at thrift stores, but I definitely will never pass up the wide mouth jars. They are my favorite. I also use my jars to make my own vinegar. I use this for marinades and for salad dressing, and I just use scraps. This happens to be pear. And I will link either somewhere here or down in the description box below the video on how I made that. I also make apple cider vinegar. And one last thing I love, again, these are dehydrated, but look how pretty they look in the jar. These are lemon slices that I dehydrated a year ago. So there are so many things I use my jars for, and I could bore you and go on forever with them, but I won't. But I am going to show you one thing that I really love to use my jars for, and that is to make my sourdough. So I actually have to feed this, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So I don't weigh it anymore. I've been doing it enough to know now how much roughly everything is. But if you're starting out, the easiest way to start out is just remember 50. 50 grams of your sourdough starter, 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of lukewarm water. And the water should be distilled or from a well. If you have town water or chlorine, let your water sit for 24 hours and the chlorine will evaporate. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add my lukewarm water. So this is bread flour that I'm adding. I have experimented with all-purpose and that worked really well too. So you can use all-purpose. I've actually got a starter going with einkorn flour too that I'm experimenting with. That needs a little more water. So we're looking for the consistency of almost a muffin or pancake batter. And I think we're there. Yep, so that's what it looks like. I just like to scrape the sides a little bit so I can see it rise. And because it's summer and I have central air on, I put this in my oven with just my light on, and that keeps it the right temperature, which needs to be around 70 to 75. And I just loosely put the lid on. And there we go, another use for jars. I also have a large jar in the fridge that stores all my discard from my sourdough until I'm ready to use it. Or make more starter out of this. You just need to feed it once a week if you keep it in the refrigerator, and that's it. So, but I'm gonna keep this out because I plan on making some sourdough things this week. Okay, so there we have it for Jarred Up July. I hope I didn't bore you with all the things I do with jars. Make sure you check out the playlist down below of everybody, all the channels that are participating in Jarred Up July, and don't forget to comment so you have your chance to win on August 4th. Sorry, I had to write it down because it got changed a couple times. August 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern at Tony's channel, Kettle Kitchen, for all the fun goodies and prizes and giveaways, and his lives are always a good time, so you won't be disappointed. Till then, take care, God bless, and we'll see you all soon.